This week I'm back with Insomniac Games swinging around New York City in Spider-Man Miles Morales. A couple months ago I was lucky enough to play the remastered Spider-Man on PC. Now I'm getting the chance to check out Spider-Man Miles Morales and his story. Let me tell you, I'm pretty excited about this one.
We'll never get used to you doing that.
Spread out. He's here somewhere.
You picked the wrong place to break into.
Tinkerer!
Simon Krieger is a killer.
I can't be the person you want to turn me into.
So like I said, a couple months back, I was lucky enough to check out Spider-Man Remastered on the PC. First time I've ever played the game, unbelievable. So when I got the opportunity to check out Spider-Man Miles Morales and his story, I had no doubt I wanted to be a part of this one and I wanted to check it out. So we're playing this one on Steam on PC, and let me tell you, if you haven't played any game in the Spider-Man series, it's well worth it to check them out, whether you're playing the first one or this second one with Miles Morales. We get introduced to Miles' character in the first game. He starts to become a little bit different than the rest of the kids around, and he's looking for Peter's help. Well, in the new game, Miles Morales, we are looking at his story and how he takes care of New York City while Peter is gone on vacation. And let me tell you, things get pretty wild in New York City, but it plays out very similar to the first game, but we are getting obviously the style and feel of Miles and his life and how he portrays the Spider-Man character. And I think a lot of people are going to find this one fairly refreshing, even if you have played the first game recently. I feel like they've changed this one up enough where the quality of the game's still there. It's still an amazing game. New York City looks awesome when you're swinging around with webs, but now we've got Miles's style kind of added to Spider-Man's character, and I think they did a really good job at kind of making it, you know, somewhat unique to him and how he sees himself as Spider-Man. I mean, Peter Parker does things a certain way. Miles Morales is going to do things his own way as well, and you get to learn about him and kind of the people in his life throughout this story. We're not getting a ton of gameplay here. If you want to play just the story elements of this, it's only going to take you about 7 to 9 hours probably to finish the story. But if you want to complete everything like in the first game, and where there's all those different kinds of objectives, we're getting lots of different side missions as well in this. So it's going to take you probably anywhere from about 15 to 20 hours if you want to complete everything 100%. We're getting all the kind of awesome variety in the different suits we can get for Miles. There's lots of gadgets to be able to be added that he can use. We've got some upgrades for his suit as well, which is pretty awesome in the form of a visor upgrade and the suit upgrades as well. So there's a bunch of different things you can kind of add on. There's a skill tree here, just like in the first game, but it's all tailored just a little bit differently this time around to kind of make it feel, like I said, we are playing Spider-Man in New York City, so things have to be somewhat different to kind of make this feel fresh, and they did a good job with the skill tree and kind of the gadgets and the way kind of Miles goes around and you know, learns how to become Spider-Man, because this is what his story is all about. This is what we're doing here. It's kind of Miles becoming the superhero and learning the responsibility of needing to take care of a city all by himself. Now, I scored the first Spider-Man Remastered pretty high. I give it a 9 out of 10, so my expectations were pretty high coming into this game as well, knowing that I was going to be getting a lot of the same things as far as the way I control my character and the way the city looks. You know, it is a lot of the same here, and that's kind of where my pros and cons list starts, because as much as I love New York City and being able to whip around with my webs in the first game, it does start to get a little bit old in the second game, even though they've done a good job changing up the animations as far as how Miles swings around the city. His swinging is a lot more unorthodox compared to Peter's. Peter's seems a little more kind of strengthened and controlled, where Miles is kind of just swinging around, and he's, you know, the moves he's making as he's swinging on his webs is a little more, like I said, unorthodox compared to what Peter's normally doing, what we're used to seeing. So again, those are kind of the style elements I did enjoy that they changed in the game, because of someone that, you know, played and really enjoyed the first game. I noticed a lot of the smaller changes when I started playing Miles' story, so it was nice to see just some of those minor graphical changes where we get to see those player animations, you know, kind of be mixed up a little bit just to suit his character a little bit more. And the suits, like I said earlier, we're getting all different kinds of suits, but these ones in particular really fit Miles' style. There's a couple really awesome ones that you unlock near, you know, the end of the game, which I really did enjoy being able to kind of unlock these suits as you go. One of the things I really did enjoy is all the different training missions you get to do around the city that Peter has set up for Miles to be able to kind of help him along the way a little bit, so he kind of understands that he gets to use these special new powers, because Miles has a power that Peter didn't have, bioelectricity, and you learn all about his new power throughout the course of this game. And let me tell you, they've nicknamed it Venom, and when you get to use this ability, they made it look awesome in the game. You kind of just feel so overpowered with this electrical ability that you kind of get to use it all throughout the different missions of the game as well, where you have to power up certain things or take power away from certain things. So Miles, the Spider-Man character, is very unique in comparison to Peter's character, and you get to see a lot of that in the building of these stories. The only real downside I had with this game is that the enemy types are, again, very repetitive. We don't get much outside of the different enemies you face in this game. We're getting Roxxon energy guards, we're getting the underground thugs, and that's about it. We're getting some inmates from the raft as well, and you know, we're just not getting as much variety there as I would like. It would have been nicer to see, especially since we're getting a lot of the same looking enemies and villains from the first game now into this game. It's the only thing they didn't really switch up, but again, that's a small complaint to have, because this game is very polished. I did enjoy Miles' story and kind of all the new kind of Spider-Man techniques and mechanics added into this game that wasn't in the first. Well, my time with Spider-Man Miles Morales has been a good one. Like I said, there's a lot of things here that I really did enjoy, especially because I enjoyed the first game so much. My hopes were very high for this one, and Insomniac Games didn't miss. They did a great job here. I think anybody that enjoyed the first game is really gonna love this one. Again, it's not as long of a campaign. You're only in it for about anywhere from 10 to 20 hours, depending on how much of it you actually want to complete. So for me, I was very excited to kind of just jump in and learn about Miles' story, and they did a great job here. I think all the voice acting and the audio is done fantastic. Graphically, the game looks amazing. So if I'm going to score this 1 out of 10, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.